All right. So, uh, you know how you're always so interested in how big companies get their start?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, this deep dive, I think you're going to find pretty interesting.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about Netflix.
Netflix, huh?
Yeah, and how it all started.
Cool. I'm in.
And we'll be going through this YouTube video from a channel called Hook.
Okay.
It's called He Was Jobless, so he asked his mom for money to invent Netflix.
Wow, what a title.
Yeah, right? Pretty intriguing.
Yeah, for sure.
So get ready for some twists and turns.
All right.
Because the story of Netflix it's not as straightforward as you might think.
I bet.
So to kick things off,
Okay.
Netflix, it wasn't just, one person's idea.
Oh, really?
It was actually two guys,
Okay.
Marc Randolph and Reed Hastings.
Interesting. What were they like?
Wolf Randolph,
Yeah.
he actually called himself the worst realtor in New York,
Wow.
but he was always starting businesses.
Huh. So a real entrepreneur.
Totally. And then you have Hastings,
Yeah.
who was an ex-Marine and a Peace Corps volunteer.
Sure. Oh.
And then he became a successful tech CEO.
Wow. What a pair.
Yeah. Talk about different backgrounds, right?
Totally different. It makes you wonder,
What's that?
how did these two guys even meet?
That's a story for another time. But they're contrasting backgrounds and skill sets.
Yeah.
Well, they were probably key to their success.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, one was a visionary.
Right.
And the other was like a builder,
Exactly. Okay, so let's bust a myth right away.
Get me.
You know that story about the $40 late fee?
Oh, yeah. The one that supposedly inspired Netflix?
Exactly. Yeah, Reed Hastings got this huge late fee from Blockbuster.
Right.
And that's how Netflix was born.
So is that true or what?
Well, it's like a lot of these stories.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of truth with a lot of,
Embellishment.
Yeah, exactly. There were late fees back then.
Okay.
Even Netflix had them at first.
Huh.
But the real inspiration was way more than just that.
So what was it then?
Well, Randolph and Hastings, they saw that the video rental industry, it was ripe for disruption.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Oh, man.
Waiting in line, hoping they had the movie you wanted.
Yeah, and sometimes they were out of it.
Exactly. It was such a hassle.
It was. So Netflix came along and said, we'll give you convenience and choice.
That makes a lot more sense,
Right. Than just the late fee thing.
Way more nuanced.
Totally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm picturing them starting this tech company.
Back then?
Yeah, like back then. It couldn't have been like
Like the fancy Silicon Valley offices you see now.
no way. So what was it like?
Well, get this. Their first office,
Yeah.
it was a former bank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with green carpets.
Get out.
And they even had a vault.
No way.
They used folding tables as desks.
Really?
And they stored all their DVDs in the vault.
Wow, that's scrappy.
Yeah, super resourceful, right?
Yeah, definitely shows their commitment.
Yeah, like they were making it work no matter what.
Exactly. It's inspiring in a way.
Oh, yeah. You really see the hustle,
Yeah, for sure. Reminds me of all those like classic entrepreneur stories you hear.
Starting in garages and stuff.
Totally. But okay, so
Yeah.
Netflix is marketing in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was a little unusual.
Oh, oh.
Well, they had this Black Ops campaign.
Black Ops. Like what?
Yeah, so before they even launched,
Okay.
they had an employee go undercover
Wow.
online in all the DVD forums.
No way.
Yeah, and they were subtly promoting Netflix.
Wow. So sneaky.
Right. Like undercover agents for streaming.
I love it. But,
Yeah.
was that even ethical?
I mean, it's a good question.
Right.
Especially now, but back then,
Yeah.
the internet was like the Wild West.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody was really thinking about like
Transparency or online privacy.
right, exactly. But okay, so even with the,
Yeah.
scrappy office and the sneaky marketing.
They still had problems.
Oh yeah, tons.
They what?
Their website was a mess at first.
Okay.
And they were really focused on selling DVDs.
Not the subscription?
No, not yet. And on launch day,
Uh-oh.
their site crashed.
Seriously?
Yeah, too much traffic.
Wow. So much for a smooth launch.
Right. It's a good reminder that even the biggest companies,
Yeah.
they have setbacks, especially in the beginning.
Totally. But what matters is how you respond right.
Yeah, so what do they do?
Well, they were really good at adapting.
Okay.
Like, when the DVD sales weren't doing great,
Yeah.
they shifted to the subscription model.
And that was huge.
Right. Talk about a game changer.
It makes you wonder, what if they'd stuck with DVDs?
Yeah. Would they even be around today?
Right. We might be talking about Netflix, the online DVD store.
Yeah. Instead of this streaming giant.
And speaking of giants,
Yeah.
did you know Netflix almost sold themselves to Amazon?
Wait, what? Seriously?
Yeah, they met with Jeff Bezos.
No way.
And Amazon made them an offer.
That's crazy. What if they'd done it?
I know, right? Would Amazon Prime be even bigger now?
Probably.
Would we even have Netflix as we know it?
It's mind-blowing to think about.
Right, like a sliding doors moment.
Totally. And
Yeah.
this is wild.
What?
Remember when Netflix tried to sell to Blockbuster?
Oh, yeah, for like $50 million.
Talk about a missed opportunity.
I know, right? They went to Blockbuster, and
And what?
the CEO practically laughed them out of the room.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he thought they were just another dot-com fad.
Wow. Talk about lack of vision.
Right. It's easy to get complacent when you're on top.
Yeah, you can miss the science.
Totally. And Blockbuster, well,
They learned that the hard way.
for sure. But speaking of tough times,
Oh, yeah.
the dot-com bubble burst.
Right in the early 2000s.
Yeah. And Netflix got hit hard.
What happened?
They had to lay off a third of their staff.
Ouch. That must have been tough.
Yeah. Heartbreaking, but it forced them to streamline,
Okay.
become more efficient,
Yeah.
and really focus.
So they came out stronger.
Yeah, like a trial by fire.
Exactly. And you know what else happened around then?
What's that?
Marc Randolph left the company.
Oh, wow. The
Oh.
co-founder.
Yeah, in 2002, not long after they went public.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Any idea why?
It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but maybe
Yeah.
maybe he felt like he'd taken them as far as he could.
You know,
Yeah, like it was a new phase and they needed...
a different kind of leader.
Exactly. It happens a lot with startups.
Makes sense. But okay, so even with all this going on,
Yeah.
Netflix was looking ahead to the future.
The streaming.
Yeah, they knew it was the future, even
A
when,
lot of people doubted it.
yeah, it was still early days for streaming then.
That's vision right there.
Totally. They were willing to take a gamble.
Wow. What a story.
Right. And we're just getting started.
I can't wait to hear more.
Okay, so next time we'll dive into
Yeah.
how Netflix became a content powerhouse.
All right. Looking forward to it.
So stay tuned.
I'm hooked.
All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back.
You know, it's funny how Netflix's story,
Yeah.
it's like it mirrors how technology changes.
What do you mean?
Well, they started with DVDs, right?
Right.
Then they went all in on streaming. And now they're making their own shows and movies.
Yeah, they're like a whole studio.
It's crazy. They just keep adapting.
They do. But
Yeah.
let's talk about that content creation.
Okay.
Remember when they started making their own shows?
Oh, yeah, like House of Cards.
Yeah. And Orange is the New Black.
Right. It was a big gamble.
It was. A lot of people thought they were crazy.
I mean, they were known for distributing content,
Right.
not creating it.
Yeah, they had this huge library of like,
Licensed movies and TV shows.
right. But I guess they realized that to really control their future,
Yeah.
they needed to own their own content.
So they didn't want to just be the middleman anymore.
Exactly. They wanted to be the ones calling the shots.
Creatively speaking.
Yeah. And it paid off big time.
Those shows were huge.
They were.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about them.
It was like Netflix was everywhere suddenly.
They were. And it wasn't just about viewers.
What else?
It gave them leverage in negotiations with studios.
Oh, right, because they didn't have to rely on licensing deals anymore.
Exactly. They had their own valuable stuff.
It's like they flipped the script on Hollywood.
They did.
Yeah.
And the more successful those shows were,
Yeah.
the more subscribers they got,
Right.
which meant more money to make more shows.
It's a brilliant strategy.
It is. They really cracked the code.
But it wasn't just about spending money.
What do you mean?
They took risks, too.
Okay.
Like greenlighting shows other networks might have been...
Too scared to touch.
Right. Like, remember BoJack Horseman?
Oh, yeah, that was a weird one.
It was. And Master of None?
Yeah. Those shows tackled some...
Like, really complex themes.
Yeah. They pushed the boundaries.
And they weren't afraid to be different.
Yeah, like experiment with formats and stuff.
Exactly. And it worked.
Those shows got critical acclaim.
Yeah, and awards.
Tons of them.
It's like they showed the world that streaming,
Yeah.
it wasn't just for mindless entertainment.
It could be thought-provoking.
In groundbreaking.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, but
Yeah.
let's not forget about international expansion.
Oh, right.
Oh.
They went global in a big way.
They did. They realized early on that
Right.
the market wasn't just in the U.S.
Yeah, they wanted to reach everyone.
And they didn't just dub their shows.
What did they do?
They made local content, too.
Oh, wow. Tailored for different cultures.
Yeah, it was a smart move.
It was. And now they
A
have...
massive international audience.
Yeah, it's crazy how far they've come.
From that little office.
With the green carpets.
All right. But
Yeah.
Netflix has its critics, too.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
People complain about the prices
Yeah.
and their cancellation policies.
And sometimes it feels like they have...
Too much content.
Right. Like, how do you even choose?
It's overwhelming, but
Yeah.
any company that big is going to get scrutinized.
True. And they've made mistakes.
But it's how they respond that matters.
Right. Are they learning and adapting?
Exactly. And let's not forget
Yeah.
the competition.
Oh, man, right.
All those companies that turned Netflix down,
Yeah, when they wanted a partner on streaming. Well, now they're all playing catch up.
like Amazon and Disney,
Yeah, they're all fighting for a piece of the pie.
it's a streaming war out there.
It is. And it's good for us viewers.
How so?
Well, it forces them to innovate,
Okay.
to make better shows,
Right.
and give us more choices.
Well, that's a win-win.
Yeah, I think so. But it makes you wonder,
What's that?
can Netflix stay on top?
With all this competition.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
It is. They've been good at adapting so far.
But this next chapter,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to watch.
For sure. And you know what's really fascinating?
Right.
Netflix's story, it's like it's tied to
Yeah.
how society is changing.
What do you mean?
Like how we consume entertainment.
Oh, right.
Traditional TV is dying
Yeah.
and streaming is taking over.
And Netflix has been leading the charge,
They have. So their future is like...
tied to the future of entertainment itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like they're writing the playbook.
As they go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows what'll happen next?
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
Netflix is going to be right in the middle of it all.
I can't wait to see what they do next.
It's true. Netflix never slows down, do they?
No, we don't.
Always looking ahead, like what's next.
Right. And trying to stay ahead of everyone else.
Especially now.
Yeah.
With so much competition in streaming.
It's a jungle out there.
It is. You got Amazon Prime, Disney, HBO Max.
All the big ones?
And then the new ones popping up too.
Yeah, like Apple TV.
Great. And Peacock.
It's tough to keep up.
It is. And it means Netflix has to rethink things.
What do you mean?
Well, they can't just rely on...
They're old shows and movies.
Right. They need to keep people interested.
So what are they doing?
They got to innovate, come up with new stuff.
New ways to get subscribers.
Exactly. And keep the ones they have.
So it's like a
chess game.
yeah, always thinking a few steps ahead.
That's a good way to put it.
So what's the toughest part for them now?
Well, one thing is just the cost.
Of what?
Making all these shows and movies.
Yeah, it's expensive, right?
Super expensive, and it keeps going up.
So Netflix has to spend more too.
They do if they want to compete.
It's like Amazon and Disney.
Exactly. But it's not just about spending.
What else?
It's got to be smart spending, you know?
Like on the right projects.
Yeah, the stuff people actually want to watch.
And don't forget about password sharing.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
They're cracking down on that now.
They are. It was costing them a lot.
It's tough though, right?
Yeah, some people are upset.
I get it. I share my account with my family.
But Netflix is a business at the end of the day.
You gotta make money somehow.
Exactly. And then there's all the regulations.
Oh, right. Like from different countries.
Yeah, it's not just the U.S. anymore.
So it's way more complicated now.
It is. And each country has its own
The rules.
and culture.
Oh, right. So what works here?
Might not work somewhere else.
Netflix has to think about all that.
They do. It's a lot to juggle.
It is, but you know what?
What?
I think they're going to be okay.
Really? Why is that?
Well, for one, they have tons of subscribers
Yeah, that's true.
all over the world.
That gives them a big advantage.
It does, and they've got that.
Algorithm.
Yeah, the one that recommends stuff.
It's so good.
I know, right? It's like it reads my mind.
But the most important thing
Yeah.
is that Netflix is still willing to experiment.
They haven't lost that.
That spark.
Yeah, that drive to try new things.
Exactly. They're not afraid to take risks.
So they're still kind of scrappy.
In a way, yeah.
I like that.
And that's what makes them so interesting, you know?
Yeah, it's like we're watching history in the making.
That's a great way to put it.
So from that little office with the green carpet,
To global domination.
it's been quite a ride.
It has. And I can't wait to see.
What they do next.
Me neither. It's proof that anything is possible.
If you're willing to work hard.
And adapt and take risks.
Exactly. Well, this has been an amazing deep dive.
I've learned so much.
Me too. The story of Netflix.
It's inspiring.
It is. It shows what happens when
Technology and creativity collide.
and how a little company can.
Change the...
That's a great way to put it. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep streaming